contest. Calafi, cook it the best. Dumplings with a little lentils on it. Stew turkey, she keep it nice and fresh. Squeeze, tease me, girl, and do as you please. Every time me call, she pull up quick. Every time me call, she pull up quick.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of the Game Changers podcast. My name is Quinn, and it's a privilege to be here with you, as always. The voice you just heard a while ago is that of John Paul Jr. As you could tell, singing is John's first love. However, he didn't pursue it as a profession until now. Listen to yet another interesting guest as he details his journey from pro basketballer to artist.
How you doing, brother? How you doing? I'm doing fantastic. And you?
I'm great, man. You know,
Blessings.
I always like to interview great minds, and you're a great mind,
Yes.
man. Happy to
Yeah,
have you on.
definitely. I'm trying. I appreciate that. I'm very happy to be here. Very happy to be here on your show. Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah.
You know, when you reached out, I started thinking.
Yeah.
I said, boy, this guy has such an amazing story. I wanted people to
Yes.
hear this story, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
So
Yeah.
let's get straight into it. Tell the people
Yeah.
a little bit about yourself. Just a little bit about yourself.
Got you. Well, my name is John Gregory Paul Jr. Jr. after my dad, John Gregory Paul Sr. And I'm from the beautiful island of St. Lucia, of course, and I was born and raised in the community of Bexar. You know, I have loving parents and loving siblings, and I've loved basketball my whole life. You know, I've dedicated so much time and effort into the game, but I also have the biggest passion and love for music. And I'm someone that's, someone who's very, you know, just ready to learn. You know, my mind is always ready to learn. I feel like I'm never too old to learn and to adapt and grow. And so definitely, yeah, by myself, yeah.
Beautiful, man. I love that. So, okay. So you said you love basketball. Let's deal with the
Yeah.
known stuff first, right? Because
Yeah.
many people know you for this. In fact, when people see you initially, one of the first things that jumps out is your height. If you don't mind saying,
Yeah.
how tall are you?
I'm 7 feet tall. 7 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, man. 7 feet tall. And I remember in high school, I was about 6'2" when I was in Form 5. And then, when Coach Gabriel English saw me, I think, his basketball expertise and training made me grow. And I grew about like 7, 8 inches, man. And, just walking around being 7 feet, you gather so much attention. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's just like, and definitely, you're really trying to, duck your head over those doors because, you really don't want to hit your head every time you go for a door, so yeah.
Got you. All
Yeah.
right. So, how did you get into basketball though?
Well, I got started playing basketball because of my bursar at the time, which was my head coach at GCSS George Charles Secondary School, which was closed down recently. Benny Hippolyte, he taught me the fundamentals of the game. This man saw me at lunch break one time and he's like, "Yo, JP, like, what are you doing, man? Like, you don't play no sports. Come on, man.
Right.
Like, you're 6'2", 6'1". Come on, we need a center for the team." And so I listened to him and I went. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna try this out." And just like that, he introduced me to the game, and after that, I just fell in love with the game.
Beautiful. So when did you decide? Because I know you spent some time playing basketball overseas. So when did you decide to go pro?
Well, there was one time, I represented St. Lucia in a competition. It was after my senior year at Brandon University. That year, my senior year, I really just hurt my ankle really bad. I had a really bad ankle, and I decided to represent my country to get, my conditioning and my training better. And after
Right.
that season, I had teams from overseas in Spain and in England, some teams overseas that wanted to sign me. And so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take this tournament to really try to get myself back into shape and playing. After that tournament, I went to play for Acquire Music Cabajosa, which is in the Silver League in Spain, Pro League in Spain, and the experience was really really fantastic, and I really learned a lot just playing in that tournament, in that league. Yeah.
Lovely. So in total, how many places have you played so far?
Wow. So I've played in China, I've played in Spain, I've played in France, and I've played in Tunisia. I played in
Wow.
Tunisia this year. After my playing in US tour, I really wanted to do different things at the time. I was really really like going in and out of my music for my passion for music. And I remember, I played so good, I really got attention from the top pro league in Tunisia, Pro A. And I played for Manza in the pro league in the capital of Tunisia, which is Tunisia. I mean, I was in Africa. I was in
Wow.
Africa playing the game of
Wow.
basketball, the game I love so much, and it was such a fantastic experience, brother. Quinn, like it was really, really good, man. I remember moving into Africa and I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be, the thing I want to do. And when I went there, man, it was just all love, so much love and so much, was so much, just love, man. And I really enjoyed my time in Tunisia.
Nice. So having played in so many countries, what would you say your highlight is? What is the highlight of your career thus far?
My highlight is definitely my time in Semida basketball in the National League, in the National League Three in France. Definitely last season. I was going through so much ups and downs and smiles and frowns, and I was going through the roughest of time in my career, you know, and I just fought through. And I remember when I went to Semida after Tunisia, I played so great. I was so hungry to just to prove myself. I had something to prove, and when I played for Semida, man, like we didn't lose a game. I was in the back there blocking shots and rebounding and dunking the basketball, and I felt like I was a part of a family, and I'm still a part of the family. And being in France now, I'm about to collect my championship hat soon because
Ah,
we got promoted to the national too, and they really gave me a chance to showcase my talent, and I'm forever indebted to these people. I forever will love the city of Bordeaux and the people and the supporters of Semida. You know what I'm saying? I'll forever love coach and my teammates, and it was just by far the biggest highlight of my career, man. Biggest
beautiful.
highlight, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, game changers. Podcasting is such a unique platform to help connect with such amazing people from all over the world and, build an amazing audience. But I know many of you are really wondering, how do I get started? How do I get my episodes and my story out on all major streaming platforms? Well, I'm glad you asked. BuzzSprout is the answer to all your podcasting problems. We use BuzzSprout as a distribution hub, and we couldn't help share it with you. If you click the link in the description, you can get started today. Even better, because you're my friend, if you sign up via my link, you'll get $20 worth of credit, so you can use as you please. So what you waiting for? Click the link in the description down below to get started today. Hello everybody, I hope you're enjoying the episode. This episode was made possible through a platform called Riverside FM. It's a platform that I've grown to love, and it really does justice to creators. Unlike Zoom or other platforms, it records content locally and then uploads it to the cloud, so you have a seamless video. If you are a creator and looking to get into this space, this is the platform for you. click the link down below to get started today. Now, I know you developed a pretty interesting nickname. I know your teammates call you Pope. What's the story
Oh
behind that?
man, Pope, man. Oh my gosh. So listen to this, bro. Pope wasn't okay. So when I went to high school, John Paul was the Pope at the time, right? He was the
Ah,
Pope. You all know the Catholics, yeah, the Pope.
right.
And all of a sudden, they started calling me Pope. And I was like, man, I don't want to be going into high school, my whole high school being called Pope. And true story, bro. True story. Like all my homeboys, all my friends, they know. As soon as I started playing basketball, they started calling me JP. They started calling me JP. So I remember the time they used to call me Pope, man. I enjoyed it, but I really enjoyed being called JP better.
Got you.
Yeah, yeah,
Got you. Pretty interesting nickname. Now,
yeah, man.
now the real reason I brought you on here is to speak about something that I know that you have a passion for. You kind of mentioned
Yeah,
it a little bit earlier on, but a lot of people might not know your music story. They might know your
yeah,
basketball story, but not your music story. How did
yeah.
you fall in love with music?
Man, I've been in love with music since I was 5 years old, man. Listen, I was born and raised Seventh-day Adventist, and I could remember very clearly my dad driving me to church, and I used to listen to the Jim Reeves music, the country gospel, and I fell in love with music. And I remember my mom telling me like, "Yo, Gregory, ou ni pou di junior pour aller chanter à dans l'église parce que monsieur,
Right.
let me tell you, my son can sing." So I remember my mom sending me into the choir at 5, bro. At 5, I'm like, "Yo, I want to sing with those grown people," but like I got so much, confidence. And I remember from that confidence, I started making like singing groups. There was this time I sang with a group called the Three Hebrew Boys. It was myself. I remember Brandon and Lucius. I'm pretty sure you know Lucius. And
Yes.
yeah, we sang Three Hebrew Boys at the Library Church. Then I met up with the Antoine family. I mean, if you know those guys, all these guys could sing. Stefan, Ray, Stanley, Yannick, to name a few. Like we had this group, New Harvest, and I also had my homeboy Shaquille Wilkinson, who's a great producer in St. Lucia right now.
Right.
One of the really talented musical geniuses you would meet, and with so much vision. And we sang New Harvest, bro, all over the island. Once there was like when there were like youth conventions and stuff like that, you know, I'd always be so, excited like to go sing with the boys because, I really enjoyed singing. And so I just started singing, and I had that vision at a young age, right? I used to tell my guys that, we could be like the Gaithers of, Seventh Adventist music because the
Right.
Gaithers were like, that thing, like I used to watch them on TBN and I'm like, yo, this is my dream. This is what I want us to be. And so this is how I enjoyed and I had the passion for music and I just kept singing in the choir as well at the George House Secondary School. You know, I remember becoming the lead singer. That gave me real confidence. When the great Watson Alfred, I mean, everybody knows him as Wally, one of the greatest Calypso kings to ever. I think he's the greatest to ever grace the St. Lucian Calypso stages. He really gave me a lot of confidence. And I remember singing lead for the school choir. And then we went to the finals and we lost by 1 point.
Wow.
We lost by 1 point against Default Comprehensive. I can never forget this, man. And let me tell you, man, I remember the vibration and the vibe that we had in that choir, man. Everyone in that choir till this day, if we link up and we see each other, we're like, yo, remember those times. So, I've always had the love for music.
Beautiful. Beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Now, I know in the game of basketball, you would follow certain icons, right?
yeah,
Your Kobe
yeah.
Bryant, your LeBron
Oh,
Jameses.
The greatest, the greatest.
right? Yeah, I know you're a huge Kobe fan,
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah. Huge Kobe
But in
fan.
the music, what would you say, or who rather would you say is your greatest influence?
My greatest influence in the music ranks would be Bob Marley because of his impact on music, the revolution that he was, how people were able to listen to his message and how he was able to convey his message and create emotion to create change in society and the people around him. So, I was really like very intrigued with Bob Marley, and I'm still, so astonished till this day, like how his kids are so blessed by, his positive impact on the world. Like if you look at Bob
Right.
Marley's kids, his sons, they're all so talented and they're all so blessed. So, I really look at his music, how, he revolutionized music all around the world. And I'm just his biggest fan, and like I believe that Bob Marley and the Wailers, and they really changed music and gave Caribbean people a voice to go out there and be themselves and create great music for the world.
Beautiful. Yeah, Bob is a legend. And
Oh, let me tell you, man. Yeah,
once you're from the Caribbean, I mean, you've had to have listened to Bob Marley's songs. I mean, you had
had to
to.
at some
Yeah.
point.
At
Yeah.
some point, even if you overheard it, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
and I can see why he became such an icon in your life. And I
Yes.
understand that. I think many people can relate to that.
Yes.
Beautiful, man.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So you're on this music journey, right? Now I know that you
Yes.
recently or you're working on something big. Care to speak
Big.
about that?
Big. Hey, hey. Let me tell you, man, this is so big, man. Like, I'm so excited, man. I'm about to drop the music at 7 p.m. tonight, but they're gonna have to
Wow.
wait. Let me tell you, brother, I've been wanting to drop music for a long time. Like for the past 2 years when COVID came, I used to just like drop like little covers of songs that I used to do, and
Right.
I'm saying to myself like, why are you wasting your talent, John? Like you need to go out there and like just have the confidence. That same confidence that you had and the belief you had in yourself to play basketball. You gotta go out there and just be comfortable and tell the world about your dream and your music. And I have this good friend in church called Marvin, and I was just telling him like just sharing my ideas with him and the music and what I was doing. And I knew Bill Monroe's. I'm pretty sure you know Bill Monroe's. Let me tell
Right.
you,
Definitely.
you know, I, I linked up with Bill and, just pure vibe and energy. And they really put me into a positive mindset in the place I was at the time because I really was trying to find myself in a way where how can I make my music tell my story? How can I make my music, you know, tell a message to the world where it's going to spread love and joy? And I met Bill and I pitched him the idea of the song, and this guy took his guitar and was just going off. You know what I'm saying? He was going
Right.
off. And then I'm like, wow, that's great. And so me and Bill would every day just practice. I mean, religiously every day after he would work, then do his lessons, and we'd just rehearse the music. And then I was like, you know what? I got to link up my boy. I know Demetri. And let me tell you something, man. Demetrius I believe, is going to be the greatest MC, the greatest hip hop artist that St. Lucia has ever seen. Maybe the greatest musical artist that I think they will ever see because I'm saying this now, but I just want people to hear him. But I'm telling you, like, this guy's work ethic and his natural talent and ability is like just off the chart, bro. And I met
Right.
with him. I was friends with him from high school, and I remember he used to do rap battles. He used to do rap
Wow.
battles I'm telling you, like Form 1, Form 2. And when I met him and I told him about like my musical, journey and what I want to do with music, is like, yo, bro, yo, I got a studio. Come, bro, come through, bro. Like we can work together. And when I got into the studio, man, this guy was just playing music for me, and I'm like, the world needs to hear this. People need to hear this. People need to listen to this guy because he's so real and it comes from a real place in his heart. And let me tell you, man, and we just vibed and clicked together. Like it's almost like we didn't miss a beat from high school. And I've been working with these two guys, and we got a project coming up. The project is called Style, and we just want to show, the Caribbean people, Caribbean women in a beautiful and majestic and, excellent way. We need to celebrate women more, and we just want to show that in our music.
Beautiful. We can't wait for that, man.
Man,
In fact,
I'm excited.
when this episode drops, we'll leave the links to all
Yeah,
your music down below. How
I
does that
appreciate
sound?
that. I appreciate that very much, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Lovely. Now,
Sir.
people who are looking at this episode see you, see you being a bubbly person, a very happy
Yeah.
person. But I know that there were times in your life where things didn't go very well. I know over time when you struggle with some health issues.
Yes.
What did you learn during that time? And if you feel that you're able to, tell us a little bit of what you went through as well.
Yeah, well, at that time, it was just a period in my life where I had all my NBA dreams. And, at first, when I did my first medical, I went through, high school. You don't do no medicals in high school to play
Right.
sports and shit. At the time, I don't know if it's changed now. But I did my medical in university to play at UVU, and they told me I had a heart murmur. So they're like, the coaches are like, okay, we can take a chance. And it's nothing because a lot of people have heart murmurs.
Right.
And so when I went to play for Salt Lake in Utah, they told me, I had a heart arrhythmia, which is an irregular heartbeat, which your heart beats slowly and then it can really speed up. And so this really, kind of set me back and put me in a very, I would say, troublesome place in my mind because, I had all the talent and I'm like, why would God, bring me this far and, allow those things to happen to me where I cannot go all the way in as I want to pursue the game and the dream to play in the league like I wanted to. And, there were certain things I had to accept, I had to accept, you know, um, different lifestyle changes when it comes to food and my eating habits, and it was a tough time to adjust, as a young man because I remember at the time I was just over there alone. They were it's a BlackBerry times. It's a BlackBerry times. You know what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying? If your people ain't got BlackBerry, you're not be able to communicate. Then you gotta be sending emails. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
living overseas in the US, and it was a tough time, but I was able to fight through. And like every other trial and tribulation that's come my way, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've done wrong. But at the end of the day, I know that, God is always forgiving. And when we go to Him and we go on our knees and we pray to Him, He's always there to guide and protect us. And we find strength and courage in His name. And, I was able to go through those trials because of my, prayer for my family and my silent prayer.
Beautiful. You know, everybody has a story. Everybody has hard times. I think the hard times are very important to speak about because it helps tell your
Yes.
story. Without the hard times,
Yeah.
I mean, all of us would just be very plain, boring people. So
So,
the hard times
so,
help tell your story. I love that, man. And I'm happy that you've overcome this. And I hope somebody can take this as encouragement to overcome what they're struggling with. Right?
yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're moving on to my favorite segment of a Game Changers interview. It's called the Quick Hitters. Now, the Quick Hitter segment is a segment of rapid fire questions,
Yeah.
right? So you answer them in 30 seconds or less. All
Yeah.
right? Or at least try to.
Got you.
Great. So let's go. My first
Get it.
question: Give me your top 3 artists, dead or alive. Go.
Tupac Shakur, Michael Jackson, and Bob Marley.
Beautiful. Nice. I thought
Yeah.
you'd have struggled a little bit more. But
Nah, this
okay.
guy's in my head. Love this guy. Yeah.
Great. The next question is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Always pray. Never give up. Stay on your knees. Pray. Doesn't matter what situation that you're going through in your life. Go on your knees and pray.
Beautiful. And my last rapid fire question, who would you like to see on Game Changers?
Man, I would definitely say Demetri. I mean, I don't listen, man. Well, listen, man. When I heard this guy, man, I was like, I'm so happy I'm on a record with him because I know one day when he's, what I'm saying, when this guy, like, the world listens to what he has to say, it's gonna be crazy because, like, I never heard anything like him. There's so much talent in the world, but like, it's rare to find a talent and a talent with a lot of work ethic, a talent that's
Right.
continuously pursuing excellence. Like we're in the studio and like if this song doesn't come out the way that we envision the song to come out, the way we hear it in our head when we sing it, and the way we decide to put the music out there, and we're not leaving the studio. We're gonna be there
Right.
until we get that bad boy done. And so I really want people to hear about him and his music, and what I'm saying? Also, Bill, I mean, they could do like a two-man show with Bill because I think Bill is so talented as well. Like, his I think his drive and passion for music is really what makes him so great. He's just so always willing to learn, and he's always has an open ear as to what can I do to fix this and how can I make this sound better. So I definitely want to see Dimitri on the show.
Absolutely. And again, just make the contact happen and we'll have him on.
Definitely, definitely, man. I
Absolutely.
would love to see that. I would love to hear him talk about, his musical journey.
Beautiful. Okay, John.
Yeah,
So we on to the back end of the interview.
yeah.
Speak to the importance of a healthy mindset.
Oh, I mean, it's the most important. Your mental health is so important, man. It's like, you know, if that part of if your mind is not working at its best and its maximum, like everything else is gonna break down. Like you will not have a fruitful and joyous life if mentally you're not there. You know what I'm saying? You could go out there and pretend and put on the show like everything is okay, but you really have to, get yourself in a space in your mind where you know what, you being yourself and everything that comes out of you is you. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to, to mess up. No one's perfect. But at the end of the day, you need to try to get the necessary help and the means of helping yourself when it comes to your mental. Because without your mental health, man, like it's just really tough to really aspire and be the things that you want to be. I'm saying this from, experience. I've been in a place where, I need to work on myself mentally. Being a professional athlete, there's so much things that's been thrown into your face every day, the temptations, all those things, and you really have to be, find yourself solid, find that solid ground in your space in your life where you're like, okay, I really need to, focus on myself and to love myself more and, just do what I have to do, to live a good life.
Beautiful. That's great advice, man.
So,
All
yeah.
right. So a young person is looking at this, or anybody is looking at this and says, hey, I want to learn a little bit more about this guy. I want to reach out to him to maybe do a music collab. How can somebody get in contact with you?
Well, I'm on Instagram, 7 feet JP,
Okay.
uh, just hit me up, contact me. I'll be more than willing to, to give you guys advice. I've been there, done that. I'm still on my journey, learning so much. And, I definitely know, oh, hit me up for musical, you know, you know, collaboration. I'm down for that. And, I'll be excited to speak and, to help wherever I can.
Beautiful. And we'll leave the links down to your social media again down below so they can get easy access.
Blessings, blessings. I appreciate that so much. Yeah. Blessings.
Beautiful. My final question: what advice would you have for somebody who wants to elevate financially, physically, and business wise based on your experience?
Man, a guy like me, I really had to learn how to invest in and make money become something for me. I was really bad with money, and
Right?
you really need to get you really need to get help. You have to get help if you don't have the means of because when a lot of money is sent into you at a young age, and you don't know what to do, you just want to go out there and get the things that you never had. You really need to like make good relationships with people, meaningful relationships, because when you're trying to achieve and be something, you need to surround yourself with positive and genuine people that love and care about you. And so those things, will take care of itself. Once you have good relationships, you try to build good relationships with people, everything happens, uh, in time. You have to be patient. You know, maybe you're working right now and you're like, okay, like what's happening? But no, think of the bigger picture. Think of when I work and I continue this work ethic and I continue to remain consistent and I continue to display excellence. In my life. You know, the vibration. What I'm saying, and the vibe and that energy, people will feel it around you and they will be attracted to you, and doors and opportunities that God has set for you is going to open. And so this is my advice for young people trying to really get themselves in a financial place and that place in their life where they're comfortable living.
Beautiful. Brilliant advice, man. And to thank you so much for that. And to thank you for being such an amazing guest. You know, this interview was
Brother,
fantastic.
let me tell you, I'm so glad to be on the show, man. I saw the show. I saw, your excellence and the way you are able to communicate with people. And, I just want to see you continue doing this. And, what I'm saying, one day, I just want to be like, I was really excited to be on your show because, your show really gives people, this platform where they can talk about themselves. And basically, I feel like our job on earth is to share love and joy. And this is
Yep.
what you're doing, with your platform. So I appreciate you having me here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Okay,
Thank you.
guys,
Thank you. Thank you.
this has been another amazing episode. As usual, I ask you guys to like and subscribe. And also, we are on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we are wherever you get your podcasts. In fact, recently we reached on Ghana. Ghana is the largest podcast distributor in India. So if you're in the subcontinent and you will listen to Ghana, find Game Changers there and subscribe there as well. Anyhow, as usual, until next time, stay hungry and I'll see you. Bye bye.
Peace. Bye.
And that was it.